If you've ever felt uneasy hearing a knock on your door late at night, especially when you know for a fact that no one should be outside, then what you're about to hear will make your heart beat faster. Because this story isn't just a rumor whispered on the internet, it's one of the most disturbing, well-documented encounters in modern American paranormal history, a phenomenon known as the Black-Eyed Kids. A case so unsettling that even the bravest investigators admit they don't fully understand what these children are, where they come from, or why they appear only at night. But they all agree on one chilling detail: the moment you notice their eyes. Pitch black from corner to corner, like pools of endless darkness. You feel an instinctive terror that no ordinary child could ever provoke. Welcome to Dark Case Archive, the channel where we bring you the darkest, strangest, and most unexplained real cases from around the world, and if you enjoy deep dive mysteries, unsettling encounters, and real stories that leave you questioning reality itself, then make sure to subscribe. And stay with us because the story you're about to hear is not only real but backed by dozens of first-hand accounts. Our investigation begins in the late 1990s in Abilene, Texas on a silent night when journalist Brian Bethel stopped his car near a small office building to write a check before heading home. It was just before midnight, the street was empty, the warm Texas air was still, and the only sound came from distant traffic far down the road. Brian was focused on his paperwork when he suddenly felt the presence of someone outside his car. He turned his head. 2 boys, around 12 or 13, stood beside his window. He hadn't heard them approach, hadn't seen them walk up, nothing. They were just there. Brian lowered his window slightly, confused but trying to remain calm. One boy stepped forward and spoke in a strange, emotionless tone. "Sir, we need a ride. We want to see a movie. Could you take us? Please. Let us in." Something about their voices felt wrong, flat, practiced, unnatural, as if they were trying to imitate human behavior but hadn't fully mastered it. Brian noticed their skin was unusually pale, almost gray under the streetlights, and their old-fashioned clothes looked slightly off, like a costume or something outdated. But what truly broke his composure was when he finally saw their eyes. Not dark brown, not deep hazel, completely black, the entire socket. No whites, no reflection, just a void that felt alive and watching him. A surge of fear shot through his body. His instincts screamed at him to leave immediately. But the boys continued speaking, their voices cold and scripted. "Please let us in, it won't take long. We need permission." That word permission echoed in Brian's mind, unsettling him even more. Kids don't talk like that. Their request wasn't normal. It sounded ritualistic, mechanical, like they were following rules. When Brian refused, the boys' expressions didn't change, but their tone grew more insistent. "Let us in. You have to let us in." Then, as Brian started his engine, the boys stepped closer without blinking, without emotion, staring with those impossibly black eyes, and Brian felt an overwhelming sense of dread as he sped away. But the nightmare wasn't over. His radio suddenly filled with static, then a strange low-frequency humming, almost like a whisper hidden inside a buzzing noise. It lasted several minutes before fading, leaving Brian shaken and terrified. When he shared his experience online, expecting no one to believe him, he was stunned when hundreds of people across the U.S., especially Texas, replied with the same terrifying encounters. Children knocking at doors late at night, always asking to come inside, always needing permission, always with those same black eyes. One of the most chilling cases came from Austin, Texas. A single mother named Monica was home alone with her young son when a soft knock echoed through her house. Around 2:15 a.m., thinking it might be an emergency, she checked her porch through the peephole and saw 2 children standing perfectly still, their heads lowered. She opened her door slightly, enough to speak but not enough to let anyone inside. The children looked up at her, their faces pale and expressionless, and said, "Ma'am, can we come in? We need to use your phone. Please let us in." Their voices were calm, too calm, and completely emotionless. When she asked where their parents were, they replied, "We can't come inside unless you tell us we can." A shiver ran down her spine. And just then, her son came out of his room, staring at the door with wide eyes and whispering, "Mom, don't open it." They're not kids. What happened next was captured on our porch security camera. As Monica hesitated, the knocking suddenly changed, becoming perfectly rhythmic, like a metronome. But the children's hands weren't moving. They stood completely still while the knocking continued from the door, as if the sound was coming from inside the wood itself. Then, in one impossible instant, the children shifted. They didn't walk, they shifted closer to the door, appearing inches away as if they teleported. The camera caught both children staring directly into the lens, their black eyes reflecting no light. A deep humming sound began vibrating through the audio, a frequency so low it caused the camera feed to glitch. Later, sound engineers analyzed the footage and said the frequency wasn't humanly possible to produce. It was closer to infrasound, a type of low-frequency vibration that causes anxiety, chest pressure, nausea, and a sense of overwhelming dread. The children repeated, "Please let us in. We need permission." But Monica grabbed her phone and threatened to call the police. Instantly, the humming stopped. The knocking stopped. The children vanished. No running, no walking away. They were simply gone. Pets panicking or hiding lights, flickering electronic devices malfunctioning, and children always between the ages of 8 and 16 asking to be let inside. Witnesses claim once you notice their eyes, you feel a deep primal terror as if your body instinctively knows they're not human. Some theories suggest they're alien-human hybrids created in secret experiments. Others believe they read demonic entities bound by a supernatural rule that requires human consent before entering a space. And some say they're interdimensional beings looking for energy or access to the human world. But here's the most terrifying part. Witnesses who allowed the children inside either fell extremely ill, had long-term psychological breakdowns, or disappeared entirely, their cases remaining unsolved. To this day, late-night knocks across Texas still get reported, always with the same quiet voices saying, "Please let us in." And those who've encountered them all describe the same horrifying detail, their eyes. Those black voids weren't just empty, they felt alive, aware, hungry. If you ever hear a knock late at night and find two children standing outside asking to come in, remember one thing, whatever they are. They're not children. And under no circumstances should you ever let them inside. If you want more real cases and hidden mysteries like this, make sure to subscribe to Dark Case Archive and stay with us as we uncover the dark truths the world isn't ready to face.